Here we go, we're live.
Good evening and welcome to the May 10th, 2016 School Board meeting of the Fairmont Area Schools. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for roll call tonight. Danielle Schutz is not here and Rufus Rodriguez is not here. Hopefully he'll be here soon. Moving on to minutes. You've had a minute to some time to peruse the minutes.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting on April 26th as presented.
Thank you, Dan.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Julie. There's been a motion and a second to approve the April 26, 2016 School Board meeting minutes as presented. Is any discussion? No? Seeing as there is none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the agenda. There's two changes that I'd like to note. The first is that as far as committee reports go for SDCC, Rufus Rodriguez will be presenting on them, and Rufus is here now. ASA negotiations will be presented by Julie. Any other changes?
I'll approve the agenda with those changes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rufus. There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the fun part of our meeting with celebrations and school and community reports. We have several teachers that have obtained tenure. We'll turn the time over to Superintendent Brown.
Well, thank you, Madam President. This is a very special night for a number of our faculty. In Minnesota, teachers earn tenure after they have successfully completed 3 years in the same school district in continuous years. And also, if they've already received or earned tenure in one Minnesota school district and they come to our district and they have successfully completed 1 year and we hire them back for another year, then they also can earn tenure. So we have a number of faculty members tonight that we're going to honor. And I just want to point out that there's been a lot of talk politically about tenure, about how, some teachers are tenured, and here in Minnesota, and particularly here in Fairmont, because we are a QComp, or a quality compensation school district, that all of our faculty members are observed and evaluated multiple times throughout the year. And because of those evaluations, when a teacher is non-tenured, the administration does those evaluations, and those are done 3 times throughout the year. Those are sent to the district office. I personally review every teacher evaluation that an administrator does, and then we give them over to Judy, and Judy puts them in the personnel file. And we're just very pleased. We had such a great recruiting year a few years ago, and we're just so fortunate that we have the quality staff that we currently have, and we're so honored that these people are here tonight. So as I call your name, if you come up, I'll give you a plaque, and then we're going to have you all stand for a group photo, okay? And these are in alphabetical order, okay? So we have Amy Anderton. Do this. Congratulations, Amy. Devin Arbuckle. Stay up here. Congratulations to you. Amy Becker. Congratulations to you. Kim Bremer. Congratulations, Kim. Aaron Dovery. Ashley Kaplan. Haley Lortz. Congratulations. We canceled the softball game tonight so Haley could be here. Actually, we canceled the softball game because the Waseca softball fields are currently underwater. Okay, Jonathan Olson. Brooke Schultz. Kristen T.G. And Brian Willie. Okay, now why don't you folks come over here so we can get a nice group picture of you in front of Judy. Johnny, have you ever been in the front row before? Wait a minute, do you want to take one with your smartphone so you can tweet it? You've been going to Twitter classes.
Someone had suggested that we tweet out some things during the board meeting. Oh my gosh, you would laugh if we did not. Yes, I'm laughing too, believe me. Okay, hold on.
Thank you.
We also have two teachers that are also being tenured tonight, and they're not here. Tracy Lardy, who is our Dean of Students at the high school. She's attending a track meet right now at Mankato West. And Lexi Kenobi, and Lexi's in part of our early childhood group. So we want to honor these two people also. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you all.
Thank you. Moving on to superintendent's report and calendar.
Hi there. We have a number of.
Actually, do we want to
Oh, I'm
talk to
sorry.
Amber first?
I'm sorry, we need to talk to Amber first.
Oh, yeah.
We like to do the fun stuff first.
Didn't have to run.
I realize that listening to me talk is not as fun and exciting as celebrating tenured teachers, so I'm not offended. It's fine. So I am Amber Seibert. I'm the ag instructor here at Fairmont. In case you didn't know, I was hoping to have a few students with me today, but 4 of them are at track, 2 are at baseball, 1 is at soccer, another one is a senior class president, and the other is at his job. So my FFA members are pretty busy. We just got done with our FFA banquet last night. We elected a new officer team. Joe was there, so he also helped us select our new officer team. They go through a series of interviews in order to be an FFA officer. Our new officers are President Cameron Saxton, Vice President Lance Becker, Secretary Chloe Grafe, Treasurer Leighton Becker, Reporter Hannah Johnson, and Sentinel Andrew Moeller. So if you know any of these students, give them a high five or a shout out because they're going to do really great things as our new chapter officers next year. Here to just give, I guess, a little bit of update on the ag program. I'm going to talk about things as far as kind of what we're doing, what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to jump in and ask questions because I kind of have loose notes as far as what I want to talk about tonight. But agriculture education is based on a 3-circle model: classroom development, classroom education, supervised agricultural experience, and FFA. So what I do happens in the classroom, it happens out of the classroom, and then it also happens through the leadership development that FFA offers. As far as the classroom goes, this is our 4th year of our egg program here at Fairmont. It's been an exciting 4 years, and it's been a really great year this year. We just got a greenhouse put up, so that's really exciting. Our goal is to get plants in there this summer to try to kind of feel out how things are working and how we're going to do things so that next year, when the school year starts, then we can kick it off and start growing plants in there right away, ideally for experiments and then for a spring plant sale as a fundraiser for our program in our chapter. We also, every year we do a garden as well, just outside, which will be right next to the greenhouse. This year our goal is to raise the food that we raise will go to the food shelf, Heaven's Table. They indicated that they would be willing to take any food that we have, and we usually grow quite a bit. So that'll be a good learning experience for my students. Other things with the greenhouse, I eventually, when I'm finished with my master's program, would like to take some classes to be able to offer a college in the school's horticulture class through the greenhouse, because that's a requirement. Like, you have to have a greenhouse to be able to offer that class. So that'll be through the University of Minnesota within the next probably 3 or 4 years. That's my next big goal. Other classes, I had 153 students in my classes this year. I haven't really taken a hard look at my enrollment for next year, but it looks really strong. I'm really excited to be offering multiple sections of animal science, small animals, as well as wildlife management, which is a new one for me, so I'm excited about that. Then we're going to move into the supervised ag experience. So every student that takes an ag class is required to have a supervised ag experience. That means they need to do at least 15 hours of a project that relates to agriculture, and that looks different for every student. Some students choose to use their jobs where they're employed, whether they're employed at McDonald's or I have a few students working at Jansen's or Pizza Ranch or Hy-Vee. All of those are selling ag products, so that qualifies as an agriculture position. Other students choose to do a lot of yard work. I get a lot of students that talk about their SAE at the end of the semester in the spring. And one of the things I ask them is, what did you not like about your SAE this year? And they say, my mom thinks that I should always do lawn work now, Miss Seibert. I hate this project because my mom thinks that I have to work now. So it's not necessarily just farming. Is like the thing that I try to communicate with my students about that is agriculture is everything around you, not just raising cattle and pigs. Our SAE leads directly into awards through FFA. Our students have had a lot of success with their supervised agriculture experience awards through FFA. We had 6 students fill out a proficiency award application, which is a pretty extensive application based on your skills in a certain area of agriculture. So I had students filling out their proficiency awards in the areas of wildlife management, diversified agriculture placement, grain production, 2 kids filling out a swine production placement proficiency award application, and 1 student filling out a beef entrepreneurship application. Of those students, all except 3 were gold ranking at our region, in our local region. 2 were silver and 1 was bronze. We had 1 student move on to state competition with his proficiency award application, and he placed 3rd in the state, which was a really big deal. It was very exciting. Pause at this point. I've used a lot of big words. Are there any questions? I'm getting a lot of like really polite head nods, like, I don't really know what you're talking about. Good?
We're good.
Okay. Also with their supervised ag experience, I had 3 students fill out again through FFA, the state FFA degree, which is also a really big deal as far as FFA goes. There are different levels of membership through the FFA. Green Hand degree is your first year, chapter degree is your second year, and then the state FFA degree is only awarded by the state association. This is given to students that have been a part of FFA for a minimum of 2 years, have taken at least 4 ag classes. They also have to have completed a certain number of hours of volunteer work. They have to have completed a number of hours within their supervised ag experience, and they have to have participated in a certain number of FFA activities above the chapter level. So this is not something that kids are getting like their first or second year of FFA. Our students that received our state degree have been 4-year FFA members, have been working really hard all 4 years. This is the highest degree that our FFA members can receive at the state level, and so we're really excited to start getting state degrees and things like that. So our state degree students are Bryce Bonine, Stephen Balfer, and Larissa Becker. And then going into the rest of our FFA stuff, we competed in 9 contests this year: general livestock evaluation, milk quality, horse evaluation, fish and wildlife, food science, forestry, parliamentary procedure, as well as nursery landscape. And we also had a novice parliamentary procedure too. So that tells us that our FFA members are not necessarily, I am not getting students in the traditional production contests. Our students are achieving a really high level of success in our leadership contests, like parliamentary procedure. They're also achieving things in forestry. Our forestry team did exceptionally well at state convention this year, and we don't really have any trees here. So our students are really pursuing opportunities that are not necessarily traditional or what you would think of as traditional in the Fairmont area, which is really exciting. We have 2 region officers for this upcoming year, region president and a region reporter, Bryce Bonine and Larissa Becker. And then we have done a lot of really fun things this year. We have attended state level conferences. We have done service projects. We attended National FFA Convention, competed at the state fair. So as far as FFA goes, it's been a really busy year. At this point, are there any questions? That's kind of all I have to say.
So is the greenhouse going to be operated throughout the summer?
Yes.
Will students be helping with that?
Yes. Mostly it's probably going to be on a volunteer basis. In the past, I've offered a summer ag class, but I think the better option this year is going to be just volunteer. My officers are planning on being pretty involved with it, as well as some FFA members that want some extra credit during the summer.
Okay, so there will be an opportunity to earn some extra credit for
Yep.
for that work.
Yep, we've done that in the past, yes.
Okay, good.
They'll have to do, in order to earn their credit in the summer, they'll have to be involved like a certain number of hours throughout, like every week they have to be involved a certain number of hours. I have to go out and do supervised ag experience visits like at their job or their house or wherever their SAE is. So it's like half working in the garden and the greenhouse, and then the other half is supervised ag experience on the job, hands-on learning. Other questions?
What were some of the fun experiences that the kids got to do at the state FFA convention?
A lot of it was attending sessions, but we had a lot of students competing. We had 4 teams competing at the state FFA convention. So we go up on Sunday, and we go to like the talent show, and there's a little blurb by the state officers. Monday is all competitions, Monday morning and Monday afternoon. They were awarded degrees and proficiencies on Monday nights, and then we watch sessions on Tuesday. Not a lot of time for extracurricular or recreational time, but they had a chance to visit the college fair. We had 20 or 30 colleges and businesses at our college and career fair, as well as different workshops that they attended and those types of things.
Amber, I've got 3 questions. I'll go one at a time. How does this work with the regional officers? Because the people that you named are graduating this year.
Yep. FFA membership actually extends until you're 21. So after you graduate from high school, they don't do like the traditional contests, like I mentioned, general livestock, horse evaluation. They don't do contests. A majority of your work after you graduate from high school is leadership experiences, so serving as a region or state officer, as well as your supervised ag experience. Many students choose to continue with their supervised ag experience after high school because there are awards yet to attain at the state and national level for your supervised ag experience.
So that's why we've had some officers from other schools, they're university students, actually
Yes.
come and speak to our students.
Yep. I am planning on some of my students, now my graduating seniors, I'm going to be contacting them around awards time. You know, you have continued work with your supervised ag experience. Do you want to continue to apply for these awards? Let's keep your membership, keep taking advantage of some of these opportunities.
And then could you teach the board a little bit about the case curriculum and about the case curriculum that you've already taken and some that you will take in the future?
Yes. Oh, great question, Joe. The CASE curriculum stands for Curriculum for Agricultural Sciences Education. So around 2005 or 2006, ag education realized that ag looks different in every school, and it looks different in every state, and it looks different in every area. And so one of the struggles that we've had with agricultural education is proving ourselves to school boards and other teachers that we do teach things like science and math, and there are assessments that we can give to assess our students' success in agricultural education. At that time, it was decided that we wanted to come up with a common curriculum for ag education, and that's where the CASE curriculum came from. It's partially based on something called Project Lead the Way, which is the engineering version of CASE, but what we do with it is each teacher takes 2 weeks out of their summer, or whenever they choose to take the sessions, and you do training in that particular curriculum. Each curriculum is a full year's worth of labs and activities and PowerPoints and projects, and basically it's like an entire class in a box. And all of our classes have been, correlated and researched, so they coordinate with standards in English and science and math, as well as our national standards for agricultural education. I teach case classes here at Fairmont. I am certified in 4 case areas. I'm certified in Intro to AFNR, so Introduction to Ag, Food, and Natural Resources, Principles of Plant Science, Principles of Animal Science, and Principles of Food Science was the one I took last summer as part of my research into potentially creating a food science that would also allow for chemistry credit to be offered at Fairmont area schools through the Ag program. I'm going to do a couple more trainings this summer in the food science area because it's not really a strong point for me. But again, the goal would be to eventually, potentially, offer some credit in chemistry through Ag.
My final question is, what collaboration or competition does our FFA chapter do with our regional chapters in our county?
So the Fairmont area, so Fairmont is part of Region 7 as far as FFA goes. Region 7 extends from Highway 15 to Highway 35. So that includes Blue Earth and Owatonna and Medford, Belle Plaine, Chaska is on the very northern edge of our chapter, Watertown Mayor, and then New Ulm and all of the chapters that are included in that. We do a lot of collaboration, especially around county fair time, with Martin County West as well as Truman, because we both run different activities and the FFA shows at our county fair. So I don't know, does that answer your question?
Was that a good question, too?
Yes, it was. I'm sorry. All of your questions have been good, Joe.
Thank you very much. You were already tenured.
Our chapter is a part of, there are 27 other chapters in our region. And so a number of those chapters show up to our different competitions that we hold throughout the year. So our competition year starts in September and it goes all the way until the very beginning of April, with our competition year ending at the very end of April with our state convention. So different times throughout the year, I'll take kids out of school and we'll go to do 3 or 4 contests at a time. So I'll take 2 or 3 teams, and one day they'll do general livestock, horse evaluation, and dairy cattle evaluation. And all 3 of those contests will be on the same day. So we're doing different contests throughout the year. Kids are constantly preparing for contests and studying, and if they make it to state, then they continue studying until state convention, or at least they hope they do. And they're working with me and we have a couple other judges and community members that have been helping with our contests as well, because I don't know everything.
Amber, do the majority of the kids in your classes, do they come from ag families?
Actually, I would say it's probably more like half and half.
Okay.
I have a number of ag families that I know of that I have never seen their students in my program, and I have a number of students that have absolutely no connection to agriculture and have been 4-year repeaters in my program because they enjoy just learning and finding a little bit more out about it. That's one of the first things that we talk about in all of my classes. I do pretty much the same spiel in every class at the beginning of the year. You are important to agriculture. Agriculture is important to your life, and you can contribute to the agriculture industry, whether or not you grew up on a farm. And I find that my students that are not necessarily from traditional ag backgrounds pursue things like the plant science, and small animals is really popular, just because they don't know, and that's something that relates directly to their life.
Yeah, because I would imagine there's a lot of career opportunities in the ag world, across the country, that, and so it's more than just, your family's in farming and you're expected to follow the tradition. So
Right.
there is a lot of career possibility to be explored.
And especially and I'll actually turn that statement around too and say to my students that are from traditional farm families, like, there is value in education, there's value in learning more than just what happens on your farm. So I talk to a lot of my students that come from ag backgrounds to say, like, okay, so you grew up in crop farming, so you might want to study something like soil science. They'll say, I need to know about soils because I'm just going to grow corn. Well, yeah, but what are you growing your corn in? You need to know this. You need to understand what you're doing. You need to understand grain production in order to be able to understand what you're feeding your animals. And we talk about that in ag business about how everything is linked, because you need to be able to understand accounting in order to be able to tell if your bookkeeper is stealing all your money. Like, just because you know a certain area of agriculture doesn't necessarily mean that you know everything about it. And so there's value in trying other things and learning other things too. But yeah, I try as much as possible to tell my students about the different career opportunities. We do a lot of hands-on work, so whenever we talk about hands-on things, I try to connect it to friends of mine that have this job, and this is what they do, and this looks interesting, then you should check out this major at this college or university, because our agriculture colleges need a lot of support right now.
Wonderful.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Amber, for your
Thanks, Amber.
dedication to the students and the program.
Thanks.
It's very evident that you love it.
It's hard not to love it when I have really interesting students, and we always have a good time. It's really, I tell my kids, like, I don't teach the same thing every day all day, and so that's what helps keep me excited about what I'm teaching, because I don't have one day where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to teach this topic that I'm not really interested in all day. I get to say, okay, I'm gonna scatter it out, and I've really enjoyed getting to know the students here at Fairmont. That's been the best part. I have a lot of really awesome kids, and they're really fun, so
Thank you.
thanks.
Now, moving on to superintendent's report and calendar.
I've caught my breath, thank you. And I also want to just publicly thank the community for their support of the Ag Academy and FFA program. You know, that was started 4.5 years ago, the idea, and we have just tremendous support. In fact, I just talked to the person that controls the money for that program, and we just received another contribution last week from somebody, sent in another $500. And so the community support for the Ag Academy has been terrific, so thank you, Amber. Looking at the calendar, Thursday, May 12th, we have an Operations Committee meeting scheduled at the district office at 2:15 in the afternoon. And then I want to add a couple of things here. Monday, May 16th, there'll be a negotiation session with the custodian and maintenance group. And once again, that's Monday, May 16th. That will be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. On Wednesday, May 18th, there'll be a staff welfare/curriculum committee meeting. Once again, Wednesday, May 18th. That's at 4:30. Staff welfare and curriculum committee meeting will meet. And we'll be talking about end of the year stuff and thinking about future years down the road. This afternoon, Sue Nelson, business manager, and I conducted a conference call with Moody's. We did a rating call today. They're looking at refinancing some of our bonds that will potentially save our district. I think it was $1.7 million. And we really felt really good. It's really easy to talk to Moody's right now because there are so many neat things happening. One example, they asked us a question of, are there any recent developments in town? And we said, well, yeah, Mayo Clinic just spent $4.6 million on 3 projects. So one, apparently they upgraded the radiology department, Rufus, $400,000 worth, and they added the new emergency room, and they're adding the new Gold Cross facility, but a total of $4.6 million of new things happening, and so we're very proud of the Mayo Clinic. Tomorrow afternoon, we are interviewing for the Buildings and Grounds replacement for Dave Turnberg, who was retiring after 30 years. And we have 3 folks, 2 internal candidates and 1 external candidate that we'll be interviewing. And we now have 17 of our 19 new faculty hired. As of tonight, we will have. And when the board takes action, we're still looking for a part-time family and consumer science teacher at the high school, and we're still looking for an elementary librarian. And the search is going strong on those. Enrollment report, the enrollment right now is exactly what it was 2 weeks ago. We're serving 1,697 students. And when we compare that to last year's numbers, we are serving 24 more students today than we were at this time a year ago. And what that really shows me is that at the elementary, at the high school level, we've done a really super job maintaining our enrollment. And I think the economy is getting stronger here, and I think families are stabilizing more, and there's less students that are moving in and out of our system. And so we're very pleased at that. Any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to financial business, Sue? Actually, yeah, we'll do donate, yeah. Dan, will you do donations? Thank you.
Be glad to. We have a few of them here. First, beginning in Appendix A. I would introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas $1,000 was received from Walmart in support of the sixth grade field trip to Fort Snelling and the Science Museum. Be it resolved by the Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
Need a second?
Do we have a
Second.
second? Second, thank you, Rufus. A roll call vote. Chair votes aye. Dan?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Rufus?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, and in Appendix B, I would introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas $4,279.70 was received from General Mills through the Box Tops for Education program. Be it resolved by Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Rufus. Roll call vote. Chair votes aye. Dan?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Rufus?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks for saving up your box tops, everyone. It really
Yes.
adds up. Another here in Appendix C, I would introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas Bruce and Donna Kramer donated a Celestron C8 astronomical telescope valued at $450. Be it resolved by the Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
Second.
Thank you, Rufus. Any discussion?
I just want to point out that this telescope is actually, we've given that to the sixth grade teacher, Mr. Buss, and Mr. Kramer is making some arrangements to come in and actually show the students how to use it. And Mr. Kramer is moving. I think he's been a long time attorney here in town, and him and his wife are relocating to Mankato, and so they're getting rid of some of their things that they've used for many years. And this is a very nice telescope, by the way.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Chair votes aye. Dan?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Rufus?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And another in Appendix D. I will introduce the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas Bruce and Donna Kramer have donated historical videotapes valued at $200. Be it resolved by the Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do we know what history is involved with those, Joe?
We do, actually. I was just writing that down. One of them is the Civil War series that Ken Burns did a number of years ago. These are, most of these are videotape series of PBS series, and many of these are 4, 5, 6 VCRs. Unfortunately, they're VCRs, but still, some of us still have VCR players.
That'll be a history lesson in of itself, VCRs.
What is a VCR? Yeah. Okay.
All right, roll call vote. Chair votes aye. Dan?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Rufus?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Now, moving on to financial reports and bills. Sue?
Tonight on the agenda, we have to approve the April 2016 Treasurers Report, wire transfers from April 22nd to May 5th, and the payment of the May 10th bills. So you should have before you the expenditure report, and on the flip side is the Treasurers Report. So on the Treasurers Report, we have listed as of the end of April, all of our different funds and our accounts within each fund, and what the cash balance is as of the end of April. And then on the flip side, the expenditure report, what that is I bring that to you monthly. And so on the left, we have the different funds, and then the next column is the board-approved budget from November. And then we have the next column are April expenditures, and the next are year-to-date expenditures. And then you can see the percent of budget spent. So then when I look at that, I look at our general fund, and it says that we're at about 68% spent. And then I look at that to see, how do I feel about that? Well, with our teachers' wages start in September, so they've been paid September through April, and that's at 67%, so that's about right on. Our 12-month staff have been paid 83% of their wage. So it's just kind of a good look for me to see, how does the budget look. Okay, then in the middle part are wires and transfers from April 22nd through May 5th. Just a couple to bring to your attention. Our April net payroll was $483,000. And then second from the bottom in that middle section was our P-card payment of $12,419. And We'll look at those details in just a minute. And then at the very bottom is our total gross pay and district share for the April payroll, which was $965,000. Do you have any questions? Okay, then I can move to the P-card register that is dated May 4th. Just a couple to bring to your attention there. The payment to ISD 276 Minnetonka Public Schools is for the Minnetonka Summer Institute, and that's for administration to attend this summer. There's a payment to the Science Museum of Minnesota, and that's for the 6th graders who attended on April 22nd. And then some of the things on the P card are, monthly, like our garbage bill and our cell phones, things like that. Do you have any questions on the P card register? Then we can move to the register dated today, May 10th. I have a few to bring to your attention here. Check number 58372 made out to Apple. This is for iPad Airs that have been purchased for the elementary school, actually for next school year. So what we did is when we worked with administration and worked on their, 2 to 3 to 5 year technology plan, we planned what we wanted to purchase for the students for next school year. And we made that purchase early so it could be ready to go on the first day of school in the fall. And then there are several field trips this time of year. Check number 58379 made out to Como Friends. This is for 2nd graders attending on June 2nd. And check number 58395 made out to the Hilton Garden Inn. This is for state speech rooms back in April 14th and 15th. A couple more field trips. Check number 58404 to McGowan Farms, the 5th graders attending on the 27th of May. Check number 58407, Minnesota Historical Society, 6th graders attended on April 22nd. And then check number 58420 made out to Rick DeBoer Signs. You may recall that there was a decision made to name the 2 gyms at the elementary school, and so this is for the signage for those 2 gyms. So the gym on the west side of the building, the former main gym, is now the Five Lakes Gym. And the other gym on the east side, that was formerly the Annex Gym, is now the Little Cardinal Gym. That is all I had for you on this register. And Julie and I did review all of the reports yesterday. If you have any questions, Julie and I could answer those.
If there are no questions, I'd make a motion to approve the April 2016 Treasurers Report, wire transfers for April 22nd, 2016 to May 5th, 2016, and payment of the May 10th, 2016 bills.
Thank you,
Second.
Julie. Thank you, Rufus. We have a motion by Julie and a second by Rufus. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There is no old business, so we'll move on to new business. Dan?
This is for renewal of the Minnesota State High School League membership. By the 1st of September of each year, the board must pass a resolution to renew our membership in the district. Some of the services provided by Minnesota State High School League include scholarships for AAA award winners, training for the activities directors, website assistance, rules training, and student insurance for catastrophic injuries. Membership fee is assessed in mid-August and is based on the number of student activities that we sponsor. The fee from last year was $2,270. So I make a motion to approve the district's membership in the Minnesota State High School League for the 2016-17 school year.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Julie. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Julie?
Yes, the early release for seniors, in the past, this has been kind of an ongoing tradition that we have started, and Principal Kim Niss at the high school is requesting an early release for senior students again, who've all completed their assignments, paid their fines, and made up detention. So the last day of school for these students would be on Wednesday, June 1st, with graduation practice would be then on 10 o'clock on June 2nd. And like I said, this has been something that we have done in the past few years. And so I would make that motion to approve. June 1st is the last day of school for seniors who have assignments completed, fines paid, and detention time made up.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rufus. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to personnel. Rufus?
Resignations, Lucas Kaplan, fourth grade teacher, has tendered his letter of resignation effective June 9th, 2016. This was Lucas's second year teaching at Fairmont Elementary. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resignation of Lucas Kaplan, fourth grade teacher, effective at the end of the 2015-16 school year.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Rufus. And Julie? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Keith Anderson, construction trades teacher, has tendered his resignation effective April 30th, 2016. Keith has been employed with the district since 1998. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resignation of Keith Anderson, construction trades teacher, effective April 30th, 2016.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion by Rufus and a second by Julie. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Julie, retirements?
Yes, Harriet Lunds, a high school principal's ASA, has indicated her intentions to retire, and that would be effective on June 30th, 2016. Harriet has served the district since 2006. So I would make a motion to approve the retirement of Harriet Lunds, high school ASA, effective June 30th, 2016.
Thank you, Julie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rufus. We have a motion by Julie and a second by Rufus. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Employment, Rufus.
Kim Ness has recommended that Andy Soderston be hired as a .4 FTE physical education teacher at the high school for the 2016-17 school year. With the retirement of Deb Heinrich, we plan to move Don Waltich to Fairmont Elementary. Because some of the PE requirements at the high school have been eliminated, a full-time replacement for Don is not needed. Andy holds a physical education teaching license. Currently, he is the owner and personal trainer at Fairmont CrossFit. So I therefore make a motion to approve the employment of Andy Soderston as a .4 FTE physical education teacher for the 2016-17 school year, effective June 30th, 2016, at a salary of BA Step 1.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion by Rufus, a second by Julie. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Kim Ness has recommended that Lisa Thielen be hired as a special education EBD teacher for the 2016-17 school year. Lisa holds a BS degree in elementary education from the University of Wisconsin Superior and is working towards her master's degree in special education. Lisa has served for the past 2 years as a special education teacher in the Heron Lake Okabena School District. I therefore make a motion to approve the employment of Lisa Thielen as a special education teacher effective June 30th, 2016, at a salary of BA 18, Step 5.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Julie. We have a motion by Rufus, a second by Julie. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Jim Davison has recommended that Chris Eisenmenger be hired as a long-term substitute fifth grade teacher while Stephanie Kynes is on medical leave. Chris is a licensed elementary education teacher who has worked as a Title I aide in our district since 2003 and has helped us out with substitute teaching on many occasions. I therefore offer a motion to approve the employment of Chris Eisenmenger as a long-term substitute teacher effective August 29, 2016 through December 22, 2016.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to board committee reports. Rufus, SDCC?
SDCC, a good portion of the meeting was end of the year business, preparation for next year. A couple high points. Jody Christensen did inform the group that the staff has met their QComp goal for this year. Their goal, I believe, was to increase the reading literacy, according to MCA, by 5%. And Jody gave statistics for each grade level, and I think each grade level had exceeded the 5% in some cases, by 10% or more. And she commented that this was great news because it's been a while since they've met the goal, and so there was considerable celebration.
Yeah.
The other high point was an update on the status of where the district sits with the state's program for the world's best workforce. And there are 5 pillars. And Joe, you're going to have to help me out a little bit. There's school readiness, and there is 3rd grade literacy, and there is 100% graduation, and there is achievement gap, reduce the achievement gap, and college and career readiness.
You got them. All right.
Memory.
You increased by 5%.
So school readiness, we still have work to do. I think what they've looked at is 2 elements. One is social skills readiness and academic readiness. And I think what they found is that the kids are coming in better prepared on the academic side than on the social skills side. And I don't know what the goal was or what the state's goal is, but they are. I think they've decided that they've had some confusion. There's been some confusion about what the state's guidelines are for measurement, and so what they've done is they're kind of doing an internal assessment based upon their collective experience. 3rd grade literacy. I think that ties into the QComp goal that we are moving in the right direction. Graduation, Kim Niss reported that according to her analysis, this year we're at the 91st percentile. And she explained some of the challenges that in that accounting that for example, if a student transfers from Fairmont to Martin Luther, that is considered a non-graduate for Fairmont because Martin Luther is not a designated school, for transfer, or I think it's a state glitch. But still, we're at 91%, and the goal is 100%, so we're close. And then for the achievement gap, the data that was presented was for special ed, and the numbers say that we're doing a good job, that most of the kids, the majority, have, over the course of the year demonstrated a year's growth, as measured by, whatever criteria they use. And then as far as college and career readiness, there is a computer program that the district is using. Is that a state-supported
Right, that's the
process?
Minnesota Career Information System. That's the one that we're using, a junior version at 6th grade, and then we're using a high school version for grades 9 through 12.
And so this year, we started with, did we start with the 6th graders to?
We've been using the MCIS system for 2 years at the high school, 2 or 3 years, and this is the first year that we've actually used the Minnesota Career Information System software for the 6th graders.
So we're getting them plugged into the process
Right.
early.
And then when the 6th graders transition into the high school next year, electronically, that profile will go with them.
And the goal of this is to help the students prepare their personalized
learning plan.
learning plan. And what Andy Trato presented the information about this, and he explained that the high school administration, would like to make this a more meaningful process, to provide even more information for kids on career, opportunities and what skills would be appropriate and what classes would be appropriate for those different careers. And so this would be in addition to the computer experience. And they're going to be working on it over the course of the summer to try to supplement that process. So, all good things. We're moving in the right direction.
Excellent, thank
And
you.
that was about it.
That seems like quite a bit.
A lot. Thank you, Rufus. Julie?
Yes, we met yesterday afternoon in ASA negotiations, and for just everybody who doesn't know, ASA is our secretarial group. We met, there was a previous meeting prior, since I have become now on staff welfare and I've taken over the negotiations here. So yesterday was our first meeting for my attendance. They had met once prior before in which they had presented, the ASAs had presented their items. And so yesterday was the district's turn to make our presentation of them on our items. And we just had some language changes that we presented to them. They're going to take those back and look those over. And then we also made a financial proposal to them. And now we'll just meet again now. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, May 31st at 4:30, I believe, again. And so then we'll meet with them to see where they come with that. And then we're going to start on the custodians now in the meantime, so.
Thank you, Julie. Any questions for Julie? Okay. Any other business or discussion that needs to be brought forth? I'd just like to remind the public that the candidate filing period for the school board is May 17th, which is a week from today, through the 31st. And encourage anyone out there who has an interest in the schools or serving on the school board to come to the district office. There are packets available that have information, or contact any board member or Superintendent Brown, and we can get you the information that you need, and we look forward to seeing who the candidates are. Thank you.
I'd like to say it's a very worthwhile experience. So I encourage people who have an interest in improving education within the district to step forward and offer their ideas and their energy.
Thank you.
And it costs all of $2 to file, so. And then
But the benefits are much more than that.
you get a lot more out of it than that, yeah.
And there is no schooling to go to, or you don't need a degree to be on the school board. It's a learn as you go. We have
MSBA provides.
MSBA workshops to provide, the background information that you need, and to know about the laws and the policies that are essential to being on a school board. So anyone who's interested. Thank you.
It is a very worthwhile use of your time, and it's a great investment in our students and in our community, and also into our future, so.
So the filings are for 2 weeks, beginning next week, and then the special election for the open seat is August 9th. And then our regular elections are this fall, and then on the regular election date in November.
Wonderful. Thank you. No other discussion or business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? No, we will, all in favor of adjourning the meeting at 5:53
Yep.
PM?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.